KRF TV is proudly brought to you by the following sponsors: KRF Motorsports, Kimmy's Rural Fencing, Computer Shop, Aloha Gardens, MP Custom Design and Fabrication, BAM Motorsports, Upix Racing, and Adelaide Tarp Specialists.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to KRF TV. I'm your host, Bradley Bam Bam Matheson, and in the commentary box tonight I have Lance Hawks. How are you, Lance?
Good evening, Brad. Hello, everybody. Good to be here tonight.
Just switching on to some of the live images at the moment. We're following Warwick Brown at the moment. Qualifying's been a little bit interesting tonight, hasn't it?
There's been a lot of close time to the top five. We've got Warwick, Jacob, Aaron, and Jay, and Phil. And also got TJ just snuck in there, all in the same session.
It's definitely going to make for some very interesting racing.
Yeah, definitely. It's a high draft around this track, so it'll keep the racing very close. We just had Phil going off at the first corner.
Yeah, we haven't been able to catch that on replay, so might just, what have we got, about a minute and a half, minute and 3/4 left in qualifying? With a minute and a half, we might just go through the grid. Currently sitting first we have Warwick Brown, second Jacob Brown, third is Jay Boving. I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it, Lance?
Boving. You'll probably put it on the forums how we pronounce it.
Yeah. Currently fourth we have Aaron Farmer, Phil Glad in fifth, TJ Brown in sixth, James Bell in seventh, Mark Pazovich in eighth, and that's who is actually racing in race one. We've actually still got cars racing for tonight. One car looks like it's missing, and then there's just our two cars parked in the pits.
Yeah, it's a small grid tonight, but it should still be good racing.
So tonight we're actually at Silverstone, England, about 50k northwest, I believe, of London. Looks like qualifying's about to finish, and yeah, race one's going to be interesting.
I think everyone's done their lap now.
Yeah, it looks that way. We just got Warwick pulling in, and Mark Pazovic is crawling around somewhere on the track. And here's Mark pulling in the pits too. So qualifying's done. It looks like the race order hasn't actually changed. So I should say qualifying order, not race order.
Yeah, well done, mate. Nice lap.
Looks like we've had a bit of a throw in the works. Looks like she's going to be a standing start.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Haven't seen a standing start with these cars.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mix. Last week last round it was an oval track. They had rolling starts. This week they're standing start. So bit of a mix-up for the drivers. The governing body's probably decided to make it a standing start, being it's a full-bred road circuit. See how these guys can get it off the line.
Usually the first lap in these cars are pretty hairy, although tonight wasn't too bad. There was a lot of understeer, but I'm not too sure why it hasn't been too loose.
Here we go, green flag and they're off.
So we had a fairly clean start. Like Mark Pavlovic at the back got a little bit loose, but he seemed to gather it up.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky save for him.
So all the guys are trying to worry about now is just trying to get that temperature up in the cars, with all the tyres and all the brakes, so they can go for a fair push later on.
Yeah, and being that they've actually done a stationary start this round, it's going to take a couple laps for that to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, normally with a rolling start it's about lap 3, halfway through lap 2 when all the tyres and brakes come up to temp. The standing start, it could take a little bit longer. But having said that, looks like Jay seems to be hustling Aaron at the moment. Oh, he had a bit of a look through there.
We're just riding on Jay's nose at the moment while he's hunting down Aaron Farmer, and all I can say is how close he's getting behind him coming up into the turns.
We just had Jacob Brown look like he just got all out of sorts. Oh, now we got Jay off the road. It's all going on at the moment.
Yeah, one driver's made a mistake and bottles up another two, and here we go. Aaron's just done the big crisscross. Jacob and Jay have hip and shouldered each other coming out of the turn. Looks like Aaron's the big winner out of it.
Really?
So it looks like Jacob went for a little bit of a desperate dive. Gave Aaron a bit of a love tap, but we got another car off.
The other car that's been in sympathy was James Bell, and we got another one that's Jacob that's lost it the second time. So yeah, it's
Got a pit, Mark? Got a pit?
really going off.
Oh, God.
Looks like Aaron's the tap up the butt sort of done a bit of damage, so he's into the pits. These guys actually have unlimited resets for the cars, but obviously if you've got to come into the pits, it's a big price to pay on track.
It looks like throughout all of that, TJ seems to be the biggest winner. He's now up into third.
It's also definitely spread the field right out, hasn't it?
Yeah, Warwick has run away with it at the moment. Then we got the next car will be Jay, TJ and Phil. Looks like at the moment these three cars are the closest.
I see Aaron's back out in track, and it looks like Jacobs must have gone to the pits as well after that bit of contact. So they're way off the pace. They're approximately 20-21 seconds away from Warwick at the moment. So downside is they're going to get probably the minimal points for the round, for this race, but the upside is next race is reverse grid, so it puts them up the nosy end for the second start.
Yeah, that's the thing with this series. If you have a bad race, you can start at the front of the next one and try and have a better one. There's one driver who seems to have stuck up at the moment. Is Mark Pavlovich. He had the issues here on the first lap. He's now up into 5th for all those dramas. And we've got James Bell just behind him.
Just on that, that's like a typical KRF thing at the moment. Running the cars one in front of the other.
Yeah, it has been. It was like that in Smack last night. Like it's continuing on with this tonight.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, what was there, about 4 KRF guys in the Smack series running nose to tail at one stage, chasing each other down.
It's looking like TJ is slowly catching Jay at the moment. Looks like Jay also has some front splitter damage, probably when he went off last few laps ago.
Yeah, it looks like TJ's narrowed down the gap to Jay by down to 1.5 seconds, so he's slowly pulling him back. Just having a quick look back at the 2 KRF drivers of Mark and James. Looks like James is starting to reel Mark in a little bit, so this could be the next battle. Could be on coming near the end of the race, and small mistake from Pav, and James has put the car right on his hammer now, down to 0.5 second gap.
Who with the drive playing a big effect. So James should each lap, if he doesn't make a mistake, he'll slowly reel him in.
Just following Warwick Brown out in front at the moment. He's out to 5.4 seconds out in front. Just car's clean, straight, not a mark on it, just hitting his markers. He's going to walk away with this one if he doesn't do a mistake over the next 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, from all the shenanigans from Jacob and Aaron, has let Warwick run away with this one. Though, as we said, with Aaron and Jacob, with good news for them starting at the front the next race, it means that Warwick will be starting at the back, having to work his way through.
Yeah, totally agree. And we're just on mate Jacob Brown at the moment, who just lost it coming near the back part of the circuit. And he's got it all crossed up again after recovering, so he's actually struggling with that car after the earlier contact, so could be bent steering rod, could be a bent A-frame underneath it. They'll get that fixed ready for race 2 though.
I know racing this car a few times, it seems to be very susceptible to damage, like any light contact you can get wheel damage and big rear wing damage, which can really unsettle the car, especially around a place like this.
Yeah, and even just knocking that front end around can affect your front end grip quite considerably too, that I've noticed. We've just flicked back to the two KRF cars. The gap hasn't got any tighter, but Mark would be looking in his mirror going, I don't need a mistake, and James would be sitting there going, make a mistake.
Yeah, with these cars it doesn't take much to make a mistake. Just a little bit of a front lock-up and you'll be running wide. It looks like now that James is really reeled him in now. Having a look.
Yeah, and there's Pav, just made a slight mistake going into the corner, just in a little bit too deep. James has hit his mark and straight on by. Another battle.
So you can get a big aero push. Means if the car behind gets really close, means that all your aero will go away from the rear, and you can have all sorts of dramas. Usually it's just understeer, but it just all depends on the corner.
Yeah, just looking at the battle for third at the moment. That gap's closed down to 3/4 of a second, and with 20 seconds on the clock, they got one more lap to fight this out. So it's going to be interesting whether TJ can get past Jay.
Now I'm keeping my eye on the two KRF boys. It's like Pav wants his spot back. He hasn't been given up at all.
There's the race finish as they're crossing the line. Just have a look at the KRF boys duking it out. No, they've actually crossed the line as well.
Yeah, they crossed the line, but they were still digging it out.
Nah, it's good to see, and those boys will race clean too against each other. They won't rub panels. Just following Jacob Brown as he comes across the line. Last car to finish.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of shenanigans.
Like Aaron wanted some payback.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting exercise at the officials over that one, isn't it?
It's going to make it an interesting second race. Starting on the front row together.
Just going to have a look at the results. We have Warwick Brown in first, Jay Foving in second, TJ Brown in third, Philip Glad in fourth, James Bell in fifth, Mark Pazovich in sixth, Aaron Farmer in seventh, and Jacob Brown in eighth. Remembering race 2 is coming up, and that finishing order is going to be reversed and drop back on the grid ready for race 2.